fight differing sides. All the while, again, Lindsay, and I just cannot underscore this enough, everybody is armed. Everybody out here, almost everybody has a gun, and that is very concerning to police. As you said, already one shooting today. The concern is that we could see more of that.
Yeah, and some more details on that, Cal. We're hearing from the police chief there that around 1 p.m., 3 people were shot. All 3 were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There are no outstanding suspects right now, and the chief is also reporting that all 3 were members of the NFAC, reiterating for people to have that right, their Second Amendment right, but do so safely. What are people on the ground saying about that shooting in the aftermath?
People are obviously concerned that this is a sign of what is to come. There have been a number of very, very bad shooting incidents here in the city. There was a mass shooting shortly after the protest started in March. A protester shot into a crowd of people. That person was never found. There are no suspects in that shooting. About a month and a half later, just there in Jefferson Square on the other side of where you're seeing this gathering, somebody grabbed a protester's gun and shot a photographer dead in the park. So this is a violent city. It has been a violent city since we've seen this social movement begin this summer. It has been the center of activity in this part of the country. We had seen for a long time here, 14 days straight, we saw police clashing with protesters in Jefferson Park. They were violent protesters, and at the governor's discretion, those National Guard troops moved out of the city. And frankly, they've been replaced now, at least for the time being, by a heavily armed black militia from Atlanta. It felt like this was only a matter of time. You had these white militias, and you could see them again on the other side of the street, dressing up, getting in full camo gear, getting in full military tactical gear, and coming out on the streets of Louisville. And I think now what you're seeing is the counter-protest to that. Lindsay?
NBC's Cal Perry on the ground will continue to monitor the situation for us. Thank you. Let's go now to Portland, where protesters and local officials continue to push back against the presence of federal officers in their city. Protesters have been holding demonstrations calling for police reform there for almost 2 months now. Yesterday, by the way, marking day 57. But in recent weeks, late-night clashes with federal agents who protesters have accused of indiscriminate tear gas attacks and unmarked van arrests have culminated in a really chaotic scene in downtown Portland. Joining me now with more, Eddie Binford-Ross, student journalist and editor-in-chief for the South Salem High School's, how do you pronounce that newspaper, Eddie?